So welcome wherever you're watching us across the continent of Africa. We are here in Ghana with one of the youngest CEOs, one of the youngest men who is running affairs. And aside the media, aside farm, aside hospital, aside everything you can think of a young CEO, he runs one of the biggest automobile brands in Africa. Yeah, when we start to the talk, we're not going to understand where we talk, say, it be Africa. So we're here with the CEO of Kantanka Empire. That's the brand we're talking about. So let's talk to the young boss, that's Mr. Safo. How are you doing, my brother?
Blessed.
Great. So we are here on a Sunday. We just want to know more about the Kantanka Empire. So let's start with how it's been for you managing and running affairs of this whole brand.
I mean, it's been a roller coaster. I mean, definitely the way any 21st century business is, especially after the whole world has been hit by Corona.
True.
You know, I mean, it's been a roller coaster. There's been ups and downs, but the person who gave me this job has never been the giving up type. So I've always had my motivation and my inspiration from him, and I'm always, being able to recognize and accept that we are running a wholly black owned automobile company in Africa.
Yeah.
I mean, that's another form of motivation on its own. And plus, I really want to make a mark when I'm no more on this earth. So there are a lot of things that motivates me. It's not been easy, but every day taking it step by step, knowing that if let's say a week ago I had one, this week I have two. Okay. So that means if I go forward and I work harder, the following week I'll have three. And if I work more harder, I will get 4, 5 till I get whatever that I want. So it's always been up and downs, but
great. You said something about in regards to, we all know how last year, 2020, it hit almost everybody. If it didn't hit anybody, then the person should come out and tell us. Yeah. How did you manage? How was it for you, the entire business, the whole 2020? How did you run it? How did you manage it?
So for us, there's a group of companies.
Yeah.
And the TV station still did their reports, their news and all that. Plus, the media houses were working. My companies that were a bit hit was, the school, the transport yard, the construction. Yeah, basically that. The rest, people had to eat. And I have an organic farm and a food delivery service that delivers organic produce to people. The automobile, it was expected to be hit, but funny enough, that was a time when people were at home, who had the free time to be watching whatever they were watching. But we were able to steady sales and pick it up from there. It was a global hit that hit all economies in the world. So we were one of the few companies that didn't do any kind of downsizing with workers going home or doing or running some kind of rotational stuff thing. It was purely, plus the clinic, it's also part of the group. So we had a few support from the clinic which helped. Most of the companies that we have, it was purely strategical thinking into it. That what if demand for this company goes down? What company comes up? So all the companies, there's no way that any kind of pandemic or epidemic can hit the country or the globe and all my companies is going to be off, unless maybe there's the end of the world is coming. Yeah.
Right. Earlier before this, you said something about the person who gave you or who said you have to take over this.
Yeah.
Now, for the benefit of most of our viewers across Africa, not just Ghana, we would like to know, tell us briefly about the legacy of this great man. Of course, you've taken over now. You definitely know. Let's walk us through some of the legacy, how it started till this point.
I mean, anyone that isn't familiar with my father's story is probably now being born or.
But some people outside Ghana,
this is someone that came from nowhere, came from nothing, came from, complete rags to riches. He's like a rose that grew from concrete. There's no way, or it's close to impossible for the rose flower to grow from concrete. So, he had the belief that, there are systems there and there are odds, but he's someone that defies all odds. He's something different. So his journey to where he is now, or the journey to where I have taken over, that was like a complete miraculous story. There's no mathematical or statistical calculations that you can calculate to arrive at where he is now. He's someone that didn't have any government support coming up, but he never gave up. Starting an automobile company in an African country where it is even hard for people to believe that someone of their skin color can actually put minds together and build, come up with some kind of innovation or inventions like the ones that he does. The kind of people that say things, the things that people said at him, he's doing toys and all that he's doing will not amount to anything. He should invest the money into something else. And he never gave up. But even before he got to this level, my father is one person who has been through any kind of hardship before. He's begged for food on the streets of Accra before. This is someone who got slapped. Trying to eat leftovers from people's table at the chop bar. There's someone who has done all these kind of walansa, all kind of nasty jobs and all that. Being sent, washing ladies' clothes, and I'm not saying washing ladies' clothes is a bad idea.
But
in our African community, if it's not something that is a norm.
But
he's been through it all. He's paid his dues to the community. He's paid his dues to the nation, and for him to get to where he is, to start a church, for the church to celebrate 50 years this year.
Wow.
Yeah, to start all these inventions, innovations, for it to be on a commercial scale that it is now, for Kantanka to be a global brand, for a car that he has made to be in Norway, for a car that he has made to be in certain parts of Africa, for the former president of Liberia to drive one of his vehicles. If people know the story behind how that brand came into being, it was a story that almost didn't make it to where the success story is now.
So with this, I'm sure all this, with the Kantanka brand, there are a lot of challenges. What are some of the challenges that have come and you have conquered, and some of the new ones you are still trying to face?
Our major challenges were just two. Having government to buy into the local assembled vehicles, that was one.
Okay.
And convincing people in the country that they should buy a car made by their fellow Ghanaian. That was also a major headache.
Okay.
But for the past 6 years, we've been doing a lot of convincing. For the past 6 years, we've been doing a lot of pushing with government policies. And now finally, Ghana has an automobile policy that protects local assemblies. Local people that do assembly in the country.
Yeah.
And that bit is a bit sorted. And there's this new policy that all government institutions that buy vehicles should buy local assembled vehicles. So that aspect of the challenges also. The two major challenges are now, a thing of the past.
Okay.
Because we've been able to perfect our finishing, we've been able to perfect our customer. Yes,
right.
Yes. And now, we made a few decisions, giving a few of the vehicles to the military, to the police.
Okay.
Had a few high-profile people in the country, like Otumfo said to Asante Hene.
Okay.
We had the finance minister Honorable Kenneth Fureta, we have the Deputy Majority Leader, and counting, we have Joe Wise, we have Honorable Peter Mewu. Okay. We have quite a number of ministries and departments and agencies and all these people driving these vehicles that has been able to let the people know. But our biggest bias for the past 5 years has been individuals.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Right. The Kantanka Empire is a big entity, is a big brand, and I know brands like this, financing will be one major thing. So my question now is, are you open to investors?
So Kantanka group of companies, or Kantanka Automobile, is a solely family-owned company.
Okay.
Yeah. The only kind of investment that we will take in is, for example, Baba has about $20 million that you want to invest into Kantanka. What I can do for any other or somebody is to tell you, invest your money into CKD. When you buy the CKD or the SKD, when it comes to
that's one of the brand.
No, the SKD is semi-knockdown.
Okay.
So the knockdown is, you know, the car that you see, the complete car that you buy from the dealership, is called CBU, completely base unit.
Okay.
So the semi-knockdown is taking the tires off, no painting, no coating, nothing in the car, just the skeleton.
Okay.
Yeah. So when it comes here, then we assemble the engine, the tires, and everything that you see, the interior, the lights, the painting, the spray.
From scratch.
Yeah. From scratch is CKD. That is the completely knockdown. So you have to weld the cars together and do everything for it to be like the process, going through welding line, going through your spraying line, going through general assembly line. The general assembly line is where we put all the various, the size, everything, the mechanical bit of it and electrical bit of it, everything. So if you come and you tell me that you want to invest in the company, that is what I can do. But to actually give you shares, that would be a different discussion.
Not even if the government wants to come in.
As I said, that would be a wholly entirely different discussion. Yeah, because you know, shareholders come with a lot of demands. Shareholders come. I mean, there is an actual mindset. There's an actual plan. There is a strategy. There is a future plan laid out for Kantanka Automobile. When shareholders come on board, they also come because they are coming into, invest money. So they are looking for how best they can make their money back. And probably you are also thinking about money. Then again, you are thinking about quality, protecting your name. You're thinking about how you can protect the Kantanka name and how you can attach quality, let it be, your priority. You understand? But somebody else probably coming in. If you look at the story of Henry Ford, Ford was and is still a solely family-owned company. You understand? Ford helped start up GMC, Cadillac, and all that. But he went back into his company, bought the company back, and owns everything. Left it for his family, and precisely that is what I'm trying to explain here.
Right. So, for the benefit of those watching across Africa, I know Ghanaians, most of them actually know what you are doing. Let's talk about the kind of cars you produce. You know, the type of cars and other things.
Okay, so for now, our major highly demanded vehicle is the pickups.
Okay.
Yeah, the Kantanka Omama pickups. Omama pickups, Okay. They are double carbon pickups.
Okay.
We have the Kantanka 94, which is the sports utility vehicle, the SUVs.
Okay.
And we have the Kantanka K71, which is the little mini SUVs, like very small cars. And we have the Kantanka Monima that has like an engine capacity of 0.0 cc, of 0.8 cc. It's not even up to 1.0.
Okay.
Yeah, and we have the Kantanka, that is the Kantanka Monima, the K71, the Kantanka Mensa, which is the sedans.
Okay. So if anybody wants to buy, is there a kind of payment plan, installment, or how is buying done?
Okay, so obviously my first point of payment is cash. If you give me money, I don't get anything. I go talk.
Okay, so you want buy
pay my money, I go take the car. Just give me money and the car goes. But it's not everyone that has available cash in full.
Yeah.
So either you go through one of these few banks that we have certain auto policy arrangements with them, for example, Stanbic, or maybe what do you call them? CBG.
Okay.
They can, finance the vehicle for you. An auto loan policy. Or we have an in-house payment system where if you pay 50% cash down, the rest can be spread in 6 months for you.
Okay.
Yeah. But if you default on the payment of the 6 months, then we start adding some kind of interest to the money.
Great. For those watching across Africa, let me see here. I told you some time ago, I interviewed your dad way back. I have been to their factories where they produce a whole lot. In fact, the first time in my life where I say if you do television, bye-bye, television go off. If you clap, television go loud. They have done a lot. The Kantanka Empire, it's a brand that needs to be celebrated. You know, one of the key things is we always love to live our own thing, go celebrate Oyibo thing. So when we get people like this, in line of what you were saying, you mentioned Henry Ford.
Yeah.
We also want to wake up one time, in years to come, and also celebrate the Kantanka name. You've conquered Ghana, no doubt. Like earlier on, you said anybody that wakes up in this Ghana that doesn't know the Kantanka brand, maybe is just born now.
Yeah.
So let's look at let's say 4 or 5 years from now, conquering Ghana. What is the vision of the Kantanka brand outside Ghana?
Okay, so we have a five-year plan.
Okay.
Where in 2 years it's going to be West Africa.
Okay.
And in the next, after the next 3 years, it's going to be Africa. So we're looking at a few years to come when there's any kind of AU summit, African Union summit.
Yeah.
When you see the heads of states driving in to conferences and all, they will be driving in Kantanka vehicles. That is the whole idea, where any country that Ghana has an embassy.
Okay.
The Americans have this policy where anywhere there's an American embassy, the embassy is allowed to only buy American vehicles. The same with Indian embassies as well. Ghana will get to a point where all our embassies scattered all over the world. People, the ambassadors or the people that work in those countries with the Ghana embassies would be using Ghanaian vehicles. I'm not looking at sticking or staying in Ghana with the brand after the next 5 years. As we speak now, there is 80% to 90% completion of us coming up with Kantanka Caribbeans.
Okay,
that we're going to set up in the Caribbeans, where we are almost done. All that we have to do is just do a few final touches, and the next thing you hear in the news, there will be the announcement of Kantanka Caribbean. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So my final question before we quickly round up is about Nigeria is one of the biggest markets out here. Any plans in terms of entering Nigeria very soon?
So Nigeria is part of West Africa.
Yeah.
So it's part of what I said. That in the next 2 years, the picture is to get hold of West Africa.
Okay.
And Nigeria being a very close ally, Togo, Nigeria, Ivory Coast. Because we already have a few vehicles in Liberia. Okay. So the next step will be Nigeria and other West African countries. Yeah.
Right. Thank you so much. And if you have any word of advice for young CEOs coming up, what would you like to tell them?
They should focus more on their job at hand, the job on field. Okay. This social media that people are doing. Somebody will buy data. Yeah. And instead of the data to be used to make some kind of money, you're using your platform to make money. You're using your platform, your data. I mean, people like you don't just buy data and waste it off. We have youth of today who buy data, and I mean the job they are doing is they go on to the internet and they criticize people. You understand? I mean, the youth of today don't really have that much locked focus. Everybody wants to be the next Kwadwo Safo. Everybody wants to be the next Despite. Everybody wants to be the next rich man, but nobody wants to put in the work. The work, I mean, CEOs it's just a title, and I hate titles, but I want to work. I want to be, I mean, somebody when I'm no more. That is my aim. That is my focus. I mean, they should put in the work and stop this. I mean, there are so many people acting to be rich when they are not rich. You understand? And because of the kind of pressure they mount on themselves, they turn to outlive their means of income. I mean, there are people who are earning 1,000 cedis a month and actually spending 2,000 to 3,000 another month. How are you going to be successful? How are you going to buy a Rolls Royce? How are you going to buy, I mean, something? Do you understand? They should live within their means, take good care of themselves, and know that life is a steady journey. You don't have to rush it. I mean, you are not in a competition with nobody. You're competition with only yourself. So that's all that I have to say.
Great. So you're in competition with only yourself. We came to the office of Kwadwo Safo Kantanka Jnr. to talk with him, you know, as well as to tell you that just as Oyibo man they do your own thing, we get our own thing here until we start celebrating our own. And as he said, there is no need to rush. Take it step by step. And the next time we'll be coming to you, I'm sure we're going to celebrate for Nigeria, when Kantanka is in Nigeria. Yes, thank you. Great.